Happy Tuesday, gang. Welcome to Ed and Ken's mini podcast. I'm Ed Fordyce and my star Super Bowl champion from the suburbs of Philadelphia, Ken Jordan. How you doing, brother?
What a week, man. What a week. That was the most dominating football performance I can remember, especially in the Super Bowl, man. Especially it was really cool. I had a lot of fun. I know you're down in Florida. There's a lot of people down in Florida that are Philly natives, right? So
It,
you
yeah,
get a
it's
chance to
it's
hang out with some people or what?
we did the family thing. I had my granddaughter dressed up in her her Eagles cheerleading outfit, and it was fun, man. Yeah,
That's the
wings,
best part.
pizza. Yep,
That's
yeah,
the best.
it was
Getting
cool.
together with people who have different views on a lot of different things, but they all agree on one thing. Go
Yeah.
birds.
Yeah, you're not kidding. So maybe next week we'll get into some like how that was dominated, why it was dominated, because there's a lot of strategies that we can take there and implement them in our business. But today I want to get into, I think, what is the most important part of our relationship, of our tribe, of life in general. And that is how precious life is, how precious time is with our family. Before we get into the meat of it, like the first thing we have to do in our Google calendars, our paper calendars, is schedule that time with people that we care about most. So, for those that don't follow us, and I'm going to let you take it away. I mean, I know you had a big loss in the last week, and not just like with the feeling I'm getting is like this spiritual loss, this leader loss, this family loss, this father-in-law loss, this business partner loss, and just a void, man. So why don't we just dedicate this to Mason and honor him and all the fun and joy that he brought. I'm getting to know him through you and so many other people, all the joy that he brought to so many people, man. So take it away, my brother.
Yeah, it was an interesting experience to go from obviously something so sad and difficult, and of course, celebrating, the Super Bowl is great, as we would like to have fun, and our energies are usually great, but yeah, it was hard to lose sight of the loss that we as a family and as an industry and as a company and as a team took on with the death of Mason. Mason Hudell was a 30-year mortgage veteran in the industry, and he was also my father-in-law, also my friend and mentor. And it's been a tough 2 weeks for sure. So many lessons from his life became blessings in my life. He was the kind of person that he took risks. He didn't play it safe all the time. I got to learn from some of his mistakes, which wasn't bad. But just an incredible void, an incredible loss to the community, to the mortgage community, to the real estate community, and of course to myself and my family. And it's been interesting.
Or just gut level, man, like a couple of like the lessons that you learned from him personally, professionally, spiritually, whatever the case may be.
I think the first lesson that I learned from Mason early on, and as consider, I came into Mason's life as a young 20-something-year-old kid, and we all know what we were like at 20, right? We all thought we knew everything. You couldn't, no 40-year-old guy's going to teach me shit. You know what I mean? Like he's outdated. You have this like, and it's okay to have this as a young 20-year-old, this kind of naive confidence because you really haven't been beaten down yet by the world.
Mm-hmm.
Like you kind of, especially like I mean, some people's upbringing, we all have difficult upbringings, but some are worse than others for sure. But coming into the mortgage business, one of the things I learned, first lesson was, nothing replaces work ethic, man. Nothing replaces hard work, and what I've been able to do over the years is become more effective with my energy. Um, but there, that's what we're here to do. We're here to work. We're here to serve. We're here to teach. We're here to help in an abundant way. And in order to do that, you have to be willing to give your time. And that's what Mason did. Mason gave his time. I mean, that dude worked his butt off. Um, Sometimes harder than he had to, I think. But I was blessed to be able to kind of teach him some things too. He was coming up in the 90s. I show up and I'm like, hey, let me show you this smartphone. Let me show you this social media thing. Let me show you this email. And he was always open to it, and he respected me and what I had to teach him. And of course, I respected him in all of the things that he taught me. But my first lesson for sure was his work ethic was admirable, and I always tried to at least work as hard as he was working. Mortgages is a lifestyle, and it's not a job. I love it. I love everything about what I do. But you have to be okay with someone calling you on a Sunday. Like, do you want boundaries with your family? Absolutely. Do you want to be able to enjoy life? Absolutely. But if you get into this game, you have got to know that it's a lifestyle. And, you know, to the degree you get better at determining what's important and what's urgent, and I think that's a skill that takes time to learn. But my referral partners will tell you, like, if they need me, they get me, and that's an important part of that work ethic lesson that I got from Mason.
And it's, and I see that. And from what I see with your agent partners, is you have that trust. And maybe you learned this from Mason, this trust where they're not going to reach out to you on a Sunday unless it is almost an emergency. Now, they may reach out to you, tell me if I'm wrong, say, hey, Ken, I need this, but it can wait till tomorrow, because you've built that trust and you've built that they know you're a lighthouse. Like, there's not many lighthouses in your industry. Like, there's no question. And I know this is about Mason, but it's probably something that you learned from him through the years, where you have become a lighthouse, where when I refer either a client to you or an agent to you, it's out of my brain. It's gone. With others in the past, 8 hours later, like, you can tell me, you've never gotten a text from me going, hey, Ken, did you follow up with? Hey, Ken, right?
No.
Because you're a lighthouse, right? And others, unfortunately, I've had to do that with. And that's why, that's why I'm working with you. That's why you sponsor events. That's why, because I know wholeheartedly, and this is about Mason, but it's turning into a little bit about the gift that you have, is what agents need, brokerages need, clients need, is us to lead them. And it sounds like Mason was the type of human being with the unique combination of charisma, professionalism, compassion, and execution.
You nailed it. You nailed it. Charisma, compassion, execution. You and I just used the term not long ago, just short time ago, the servant leadership. Mason never wanted to be the boss. He never wanted to be a manager or be in charge of people, but that didn't mean he wasn't a leader. He was a leader in a lot of ways, especially with his referral partners. Leaders are trusted. Leaders have a plan. Leaders have a vision. Leaders execute the vision. Leaders move people forward towards their goals. And as a real estate agent, he moved agents closer to their financial goals, to their business goals, by helping them close transactions that other lenders just flat out refuse to do. He led his clients to the dream of home ownership, and he led people like myself and other loan officers that were younger, or at least that were in his vicinity, who were willing to listen, by showing people the ropes. And he was a great he would send these emails that were a riot, talking about, I blazed another trail. If he sent an email where it started with, I blazed another trail, it was code for, like, all right, I fucked up. Here's what happened. Or here's the crazy thing I didn't see coming. Or here we go. Like, I forge on and blaze the trail for those that come behind me. And man, he's had some doozies, but on the other end of it, there were lessons for all of us, so that we didn't do the same thing that he did, or that we get to see around the corner where he didn't see it coming, So that was, and that was a big part of his charm too, is his sense of humor. He didn't, nothing held him down for very long. I mean, he, don't get me wrong, he's taken his lumps. He had business failures. He had, he sometimes, like after a rough month, you get some loans at the door that really took a lot out of you. And he would say, like, I need to lick my wounds for a couple days and then get back at it. Like, what kind of a sick person, gets their head handed to them with these really, really rough transactions and then turns around and says, all right, give me more, right? Like, you need a minute to reset, which he did, but nothing held him down for long, and he always showed back up with the same level of enthusiasm and humor, and it was, I think that was one of his superpowers, his ability to just, take a minute, reset, and then just get right back after it.
I think that's maybe we can start a category, Masonisms. And he just taught me something that I'm going to take of my favorite color is gray. Let's just say that.
Okay.
Actually, it's black, but let's just say gray for business purposes. And I could have used that. Well, let's start out with I blazed another path.
Yeah.
Meaning I'm probably going to have to ask for forgiveness, but I have such charisma that I'm going to make you think that it's a learning moment. Dude, that's a Masonism, man.
Yeah.
I
I
love that.
blazed another trail.
I blazed another trail. That is good. That's solid gold, man.
Hey, he was humility and just very human nature. He was okay with saying, learn from my mistakes. We did. I was very lucky. My friend Joe Ardell and I have a podcast, Selling the Dream, and we were able to interview Mason shortly before he got diagnosed. He was diagnosed in 2022 with melanoma. It was October of 22. We interviewed him, and I'll share the interview in the comments when we post this. But he walks through like his life lessons and business lessons and what he learned, and he does a much better job than I'm doing right now as far as explaining the trails that he blazed. He's got some great stories though, man. They're really, really funny stories, and from all of them, all of his stories, he was the first person I don't think he invented the line, but he was the first person I heard said he graduated from the School of Hard Knocks. Like, he did not have a degree. He had a PhD in life lessons, and he didn't keep them to himself. He shared whatever he learned with anybody that was standing by.
Man, I'm just saying I never met him, but that whole PhD, and I'm going to get a little spiritual on this now. And I think I told you, dude, I learned this from Anthony Robbins. The two reasons why death hurts so bad is number one, and we're probably going to go a little longer today. That's all right. The reason why death hurts so bad is number one, we don't think it ever should happen. And number two, when it happens, we feel like we're disconnected. And if we choose to believe that souls never die, they just change form, we can, like right now, I literally can feel, again, I never met the guy. I can feel his sarcastic, loving presence right here. Like literally, I'm feeling it in my heart and my soul, and I'm like, it's hitting me. I can feel his love, and this is I'm going deep here, but it's like he literally just went, all right, now I'm going to take you off track and make you forget what you were going to say, because that's the way he is. Completely lost track.
But what I love about what you were saying, it one of the other lessons, from Mason and from anybody, is the reason you feel that energy, the reason I feel that energy present, is because of the contribution he had in my life, and the way he made me feel, what he taught me, the way he connected with me. As could have, some father-in-laws are jerks, right? Like, but here's a father-in-law that was basically treating me like a friend from the beginning. That if you want to live forever, connect with and contribute to as many lives as possible, because then when people talk about you, you're there. because your presence is there, your energy is there. What he instilled in me, it's present, it's here, and I believe you 100%. Ed, I think he is with us right now, and I think my mom is with us. I think your nephew is with us. I think that some of the people that we talk about that have passed on, they're with us because they connected and they contributed to our world. And every day millions of people die, right? Every day. But if they weren't in our lives, if they weren't connecting, if they weren't serving and contributing to us, then of course it makes sense that energy is not with us today, right? But I do think, I think he's with us. He's with us in that energy, and he also lives on. He'll live on in stories, which are an important part of the process. He'll live on with humorous jokes, which was another big thing, by the way. He loved to laugh, man. And he more than laughing, he liked to make other people laugh. He would rather tell a funny story than hear a funny story. And he loved to post. He loved to post jokes on Facebook. If you go into Facebook where I posted the day past, it's like almost 600 comments, not just likes but comments, and that's a testament right there. Over and over again. I never met you, but I loved following you. I loved hearing your jokes. I loved your adventures with Luigi, his wife, her name is Teresa, but he called her Luigi. Like, people who never met him woke up in the morning eager to see what was going on, what Mason had to say, because he was so authentic and so himself. And that makes life a lot easier when you can just be authentic and trust that your authentic self is good enough for everybody else, and whoever it's not good enough for, so what? Right? Another great lesson from Mason. Just go out there and make people laugh and tell people your story. And the ones that love you, the ones that like you, they're going to stick around and listen. And the ones that don't, it's okay. I struggle with that with social media. I struggled with it for a long time, trying to curate my persona, so to speak. And I stopped doing that. And you're a big part of teaching me that too. Just be yourself, man. Be yourself. Just be yourself. And social media will work for you from a business perspective for sure.
What I'm thinking is his intent. It's one of my words. In business, it's going to be lifestyle. In my spiritual world, it's intent. It sounds like his intent, Mason's intent, was to make someone else's, or actually make as many people's day as he could every day.
Mm-hmm.
And, in our business, I heard this from one of the agents that I mentor about ego in this business. And it sounds like Mason lived this way, that we're pretty good at what we do, but they're probably not going to name any park after Ken Jordan or Ed Fordyce. Who knows? Maybe we'll do something philanthropic where, But one thing I can tell you is that when the day comes that the good Lord takes you and me from planet Earth, there will be a line, very long line, of telling our kids stories of how we impacted their lives. In fact, that's what I say. And you better come to my funeral, dude. And you better tell my kids a funny story.
I got you.
But that's a life worth living, man. Like that is so cool. And like, we get all in our business, we act like sometimes the business leads us to a place of ego where we start acting like the second coming of Christ. And it's like, how about if we chill out? We're in the real estate and mortgage business. Yeah, we help people. Yeah, but no one's naming a park after us, man. Yeah. So why don't we be like Mason and go, hey, how do I make somebody laugh? How do I help them ease their anxiety maybe for the day? Be a friend, be a leader.
Be a trailblazer.
Be a trailblazer. Yep. I'm taking that one.
One action item today.
Yep.
And today, if you're still listening at 21 minutes and 51 seconds into the podcast, God bless you, that you get recognition for that to begin with. Mason's favorite thing was to post jokes. He would steal memes and jokes from all different social media channels, and he would save them in his phone. He would take a screenshot of them, and he loved posting jokes. So I know how it impacted people's lives firsthand because he made people laugh, and they said it. That's what they said about him. I never met you, but you always made me laugh. Post a joke on social media. Go onto your social media today, find a joke, post it. Don't ask permission to tell it. Just post it. Make someone laugh today. And I think that if everyone listening to this, if there's anybody listening to this, if everyone goes out and makes someone laugh today, I think somehow or another the world's just going to be a little bit of a better place.
All right. So Mason just sent me an old joke from my bartending days.
Let's hear it.
Did you hear about the termite that walked into the bar and said, "Is the bartender here?"
That's a good one.
Get it? Bartender. It's a termite, right? I used to tell that.
I got it. It was good. I liked it. That's awesome, man. That is awesome.
I won't give up my
right.
day job.
I'll lead with my joke. Gosh, what's loud and sounds like apple?
What's loud and sounds like an apple?
Apple. That was a dumb one.
I love it.
I'm going to blow the eardrums off the listeners here.
I love it. That's good. Makes you laugh. Let's not take life so serious today.
That's it, man. And I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to talk about this stuff. We got some great stuff coming next week. We're going to get into some really cool execution stuff, especially we're going to keep on that AI train because I think there's just too much there to talk about. I hope all the people listening today enjoyed our little chat.
Yeah, brother. Thanks, Mason.
Thanks, Mason.